Sounds like she is being tracked by the government. Hey.
Hey.
All right, if you want to go ahead and share your screen there, we'll start the...
Let me share screen.
I got to make you host.
Okay. Oops. Okay, so I went ahead and in this, change the title of this. And then, hey, welcome to Facebook ads, for life insurance. Today we're going to go over Facebook ads 101,
Yep.
and then basically just put a slide in here for each one of what we're going to actually cover throughout the course. Then we're going to talk about Facebook ads. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
So where do you want me to bring you in, or what do you want to talk about here?
You just start from slide 1 and start going through it, and I'll chime in when I have something to say.
Okay. Cool. Are you recording?
I am. Yep, you're good to go.
Okay, so I'm just gonna start as
make
if
it full screen there. Yeah, there you go.
And then just a second.
Now we can do a lot with Zoom. We can do whiteboards. We can put notes on the images or on the videos, etc., and it saves all that stuff, right? So
nice.
We can do a whiteboard, right, and give people examples of how it's supposed to look, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when you scroll your hand over this,
okay,
saying you should see the options for it.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's be silent for a second, and I'll go ahead and start.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, everybody, welcome to today's video, Facebook ads for life insurance. So in today's video, we're really just going to cover Facebook ads 101. So let's go ahead and get started. So when I talk about Facebook ads 101, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go over an overview of exactly how Facebook ads work, and we'll go over that in just a second. The second piece we're going to go over is the Facebook algorithm, and really, why Facebook, we're going to let it work for us, and how it's going to help us find those different type of leads that we're really looking for, those quality leads. The third piece we're going to go over is your Facebook page. So you will need a Facebook business page in order to set this up. And so in the video, we'll actually go over that, how to set it up, what you're going to need, all of that. The next piece is Facebook, the business manager and the ad account. So we're going to walk you through, if you've never ran ads before, you are brand spanking new, you've never created an ad account, you have no idea what you're doing. We're going to walk you through click by click on how to set up a business manager and then how to set up an ad account so we can actually make this whole process work. As far as Facebook lead ads, the reason we're going to go over this is because there's a lot of different type of ads out there and a lot of different type of reasons to use them. But in this case, in this course, we're going to really just focus in on the Facebook lead ads, because for most insurance agents are not marketing people. They are not the most technically oriented people either. And so what we want to do is we want to make this whole entire process very, very simple. And I'm sure if you've looked at, different types of things online, we've all been exposed to different types of funnels and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of times we get really, really discouraged because we look at it and they're like, man, we're just never going to be able to create that and replicate the results. And so because of that, we really don't go to work. Well, Facebook lead ads kind of helps us solve a lot of problems where it's probably the most simple way to generate a lead without having to have all the technical skills of building landing pages and pixels and firing them off and automation and all this other stuff, right? We're just going to focus on the simplest way for you to go from point A to point B and get leads. And that's how we're going to do it with Facebook lead ads. The next piece we're going to go over is actually launching the actual ad. So we're going to go over not only putting the ad together, so what do people actually see as far as images and text, but what we're also going to go over is, at the end of it, what are we actually trying to get them to do? So we're going to launch an ad. We're going to talk about split testing. We're going to talk about different images, all sorts of that kind of stuff. And then the last part is automation setup. So once we have a Facebook lead, okay, well, there's a lot more to it than just that. I know for a lot of people that probably came here, you're thinking that the answer is leads, right? Well, I'm going to tell you that the answer is only half leads, because the other part of the equation is actually converting the lead. And 9 out of 10 salespeople that we talk to have no follow-up process at all. And so what we're going to talk about in the automation piece is really how we can take the leads, even if they're, A quality leads to F quality leads, in an automation process on actually how you can convert them. Okay, so one of the first places that I like to start is just, what is Facebook ads? Why is it a little bit different than everything else online? And I'm sure we've all, been on Facebook, we've been scrolling, and Facebook ads are very similar to like a commercial, right? We're not looking for whatever it is they're about to show us, right? If you've ever been on your phone, and I know you probably spend 2-3 hours there scrolling along, all those ads that you see, you didn't go search for that stuff. They're just putting it in front of you. And so it's a really cool thing, because Facebook allows us not only to take that digital billboard, that's really how we try to explain it, is just this big digital billboard on a highway, right? Yep. Well, when you're driving down a freeway, you have no control over which billboard you see. It's just like when we're sitting on the television or watching Netflix, right? We're getting served these ads for whatever specific reason. Usually it's because we're watching a show or driving down a freeway.
Hey, but Richard, can I chime in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. Guys, my name's Ryan Carlock. I'm partnered with Richard here. I'm the CTO. I handle the tech and some of the training when it comes to sales and cold calling. My background goes deep into the telemarketing field. I ran a telemarketing firm and built it up to $60K a month. And then I got away from the leads industry because Richard and I, for how many years now, Richard? 10?
About that.
Has it been 10? Almost 10. Have been working together on a remote basis, just kind of bouncing ideas off of each other and what's going on in the leads industry. And when Richard comes here and says that a Facebook ad is like a digital billboard, that's exactly right. It is a digital billboard. It's random information put in front of your face. But it'd be the same as if you were driving down a toll road and you see the billboard right in front of you, and then a mile later, you see the exact same billboard with the exact same bridge behind it. That's what Facebook does, is they take billboard to the next level, and they say, okay, you looked at that billboard, so now we're going to put more of those billboards in front of your face. So take it a little bit further than billboard, but the basic concept is they're just putting advertisements right up in front of your face. And then once you see it, they judge your propensity. I think you touched on this, Robert, with their AI. Their AI, their artificial intelligence, will choose who's most likely to respond to the same message that Joe Schmo responded to, or John Smith. Because you and John Smith show similar habits. You show similar likes and shares. You show similar interests. So the AI algorithm automatically comes to a conclusion that you're more likely to respond to this ad. So think of the billboards as a rolling billboard, if that makes sense. I just wanted to put that clarification out there for you.
Yeah, and that's absolutely right. One of the beauties of Facebook, guys, is that not only can you get to have this digital billboard that we get to create, and we're going to do that here in the next couple of videos, but we get to put it in front of anybody that we want. And the downfall to a lot of like an actual billboard, right, on the corner of your local highway, or if you were to do any type of TV ads, is that you really don't. You put it in front of pretty much anybody. Anybody that's watching right now is going to see this. And that, for a lot of times, it just costs a lot of money because you're so broad. The beauty with Facebook is we're able to not only take that digital billboard, we can target exactly who we want to talk to based on a lot of the things that Ryan just mentioned, what you're sharing, what you're liking, your demographics of how old you are you married, do you make, money? Facebook has so many data points on us, guys. They know more about us than we do. And if you've watched the news over the last 5 years, you've seen, or even 10 years, you've seen almost every major tech company in some sort of an issue with, data privacy because they collect so much information. But here's the thing on this side. We get to use that information and we get to put our ads in front of the exact type of people that we want to talk to. So instead of, all right, well, hey, I don't want to necessarily talk about life insurance with an 18-year-old that just graduated high school. Why? It's not really relevant in their life right now, right? But somebody that's 30, 35, 40 years old, maybe has a kid or two, has a house, a wife, a career, all that kind of stuff. Guess what? That's who we need to put it in front of. And that's exactly what we're going to show you guys how to do in some of these other videos. So anything you want to touch on here, Ryan, at all?
No, I mean, just think of it as a rolling billboard. By rolling billboard, I mean, if you got a billboard on a truck and that truck's going in circles around the same market area, that's what Facebook does. If you express interest in something, it's going to re-show you that ad, whether you stop for a second or two. I think, I don't know for sure how long it is. I would say the max that they track is up to 3 seconds. But anybody who stops to look at an ad, even anything, who stops to look at anything, Facebook's algorithm is going to count that pause and scrolling as a capture of attention. Very important for people to understand.
Agreed. All right. So let's talk real quick. We mentioned this a few minutes ago. We're going to talk a little bit about just how it's structured in Facebook ads. One of the things I'll skip real quick to this next slide is you will need a Facebook business page. This is one of the most common questions that a lot of us get when we're going through setting somebody up that's never really done this. And guys, that is what we want. We want this course to be so crazy simple that if you've never even had a Facebook profile, you know how to work this. So if you have a Facebook profile, your own profile, it has your picture on it, the thing you're going to have to create, and we'll have a video in a couple of videos here that we'll go over, is how to just create a business page. It's very, very simple, but you need it before you can run any ads because you have to attach it to this next piece, which is the business manager. The business manager and the ads account, kind of look at it just kind of umbrellas, right? Like a business manager is kind of the big umbrella. The actual ads account is the ad account that you're going to run it. Now, in your guys' case, because you're an insurance agent, you're running your own ads, you're really not going to have multiple ads accounts because you really won't have any need for it.
Yeah.
But if you ever did, this is why we kind of show it to you, because some of agents that we work with end up getting so good at what they do. They have other agents that are like, hey, could you kind of help me do it or do it for me? And that's where maybe having a second or third or fourth
they have that moment where they're like, holy crap, how big can I make this?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's really exciting, guys. And that's one of the things that we really try to get all of our students to, is that it's not really that hard to get this done. It's just, we got to take some very simple steps and execute it. That's it.
We are putting in front of you guys the same information that people are charging $2,500, $3,500, $4,500 on Facebook to teach other people. And at the end of the day, it's your choice to take it and believe that it is worth value and then apply it. And that's what we pride ourselves in this business. Is there are a lot of insurance IMOs, or whatever you want to call them out there, insurance marketing organizations, who hold the leads at the top as something that the agents have to attain to, where there's no clarity, or there's no transparency between the corporation and the agent on how they're generated. We're trying to break down that wall for you guys right now, and I'm just trying to be the background voice because I'm the tech guy.
Right, absolutely. So let's go back to the screen real quick as far as what we're going to chat about in kind of future videos. And this video, guys, it is an overview, and that's really all it is. So once we get the ads account, what we're going to start talking about is just a campaign structure. Okay, so we're going to talk about setting up a campaign, which is basically what we're trying to accomplish. And any of the campaigns, like we talked about before, are always going to be to produce leads. So a form that somebody fills out their information, they saw your ad, they want a quote, and you need to call them, right, or set an appointment. The next piece we're going to talk about is really who, where, and why we're targeting. So are we targeting 18-year-olds, or are we targeting 35 to 55 years old in your local state or area that are looking for maybe life insurance, or maybe that have a house or kids? You know, all those demographic things are what we're going to talk about in the targeting aspect. And then the last piece we're going to talk about is just the ad. So, and this is really where it gets, you know, the nitty gritty, is because, like, what are they going to see? And we're going to talk over not only specific examples of ads that you can use, and we give you some templates, but we're going to give you a framework on, you know, just because we give you a template that works right now, we all know, if you've been alive very long, that marketing changes, things change, and it's changing at a rapid pace that none of us can keep up with.
Yeah.
And so the framework is really, if you look at advertising over even the last 30 years, the framework of what they're trying to accomplish and the things that, you know, the emotional levers that they pull are all the same steps, right? And that's what we're going to go over with you. So that way, if you look at the campaigns that we have right now, and they don't exactly fit to exactly what you're trying to accomplish, or the product that's, you know, that you're trying to sell, you'll be able to take that framework and just kind of manipulate it a little bit to actually get that result that you're looking for in the ad. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about pictures, text, all that kind of stuff. So one last piece that we'll talk about. Do you have anything to add before I go over the billing piece?
Yeah, you're going. Go ahead.
Cool. So billing. This is one awesome piece about Facebook. So all of you, if you're agents, when you go to look at a new lead program, you're always worrying about, well, how much am I going to have to put out up front before I find out if this is even legit? Like, before I even get a lead, do I got to put out a $500, $1,000, whatever? And the beauty about Facebook is they bill you in increments. So if you've never had a Facebook account, you don't have to have $500 up front for your budget for the month to be able to pay. They bill you in increments.
25.
You pay 25, exactly. So you start at 0, and they do it in thresholds. So basically what happens is, on average, I mean, from what we've seen, I mean, $8 to $12, would you say, is probably about an average Facebook lead, right around there?
When you start, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we're looking at that. So
and by the way, if your first Facebook leads come out from your first ad on your first shot and they end up being $30, don't get discouraged, please. because
Absolutely.
Facebook's algorithms are not perfect, and it takes them 2 to 3 weeks to give a good test sample. I mean, it's phishing is what they're doing. I mean, I hate it. Go and Google phishing.
Yep.
I mean, that's what they're doing. They're phishing information from your computer to figure out from your cookies on your computer, to figure out who's most likely to reply based off of Google searches, Twitter searches, Facebook searches, Instagram searches, even Bing, Yahoo, any business you can think of who's a major corporation who you can go and find information from. Those corporations are feeding information to Facebook, whether you like it or not. So knowing that, we should be able to take a step back and say, okay, at least there's got to be a time period for all of that to be accomplished. See what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, yeah, to just tag on that with the ratcheting up with the Facebook threshold is that you don't have to put all that money up front, right? So if you have a $500 budget, all right, come up with that today. Basically, what's going to happen is as you spend, as soon as you hit a threshold of $25, they're going to bill your card. And then pretty soon it ratchets back up after you pay that, up to $50, you pay that off. So it's a nice way where as you're going through the week and the month, you have leads now that technically you didn't have to pay for yet, that you could be closing, right? You could easily potentially close a lead in a sale and pay for your ads and make money before you even have to pay for them. Now, typically it doesn't happen at like the $25 range or $50 range or $100 range, but $250, $350, and $500 where they bill you, it's absolutely possible, especially as your pipeline builds. So I guess for today's video, that's pretty much what we wanted to cover. And if you don't want to cover anything else, Ryan.
No, I mean, I'm good with that. I think to start here, this is a good place to get people an understanding of where they're going to go. We'll jump into the next videos here and take you through the step-by-step process.
Awesome. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Thank you.
Cool. Okay. That was long enough. Do you want to stop it and restart so that way you don't got to download like a 2-hour thing? Because whenever I'm downloading and uploading that shit, it's like fucking takes forever when they're big. Hello? Are you there?